We are now officially 1 month into the brand new EU account. No swiping, no trusted status, from 0 to hero. If this is your first time watching this video series, I do highly suggest you go back from week 1 and watch them in order. Anyways, I made some decent progress in today's video, so let's dive right in. I logged in on September 12th, claimed my login reward, and checked if I had trusted status. Sadly, I still do not have it. Surely I'll get it next week. So I claimed my weekly hell keys from the mail, then I tried to open up the market, hoping that by some miracle I can at least buy something. But it turns out I cannot. So I accepted my daily and weekly Una task as well as the typical Chaos dungeon. After that, I hopped into Elysian to upgrade my Paradise gear so that I could dive further into Crucible. This week I was able to clear Crucible 9. Now for the exciting part, Hell Keys. I did not get to experience the new altar system that was introduced recently, but I got some decent rewards. First up was Bound Gold, easy 16k. The second key gave me another 16,000 gold, and the last key gave me a bit of fusion materials to work with. With 37k gold, I decided to try and knock out the weapon. As expected, I did not get lucky and eventually ran out of materials. So I moved on to the gloves and succeeded at 59% pity. I continued a bit further with legs and succeeded at 50% pity. I then put down a deposit on my chest piece and I one-tapped it, which was nice. With enough gold for one more tap, I tried shoulders but failed, which is to be expected. And with that, I am item level 1673. Now it is time to do some raids so that I can get more gold. After searching around in Party Finder for a while, I got into a Broshaza normal mode lobby, and we cleared gate 1 without any issues despite me not having any flame scrolls. However, gate 2 became a situation. I'll show a few clips here, some of which are my fault or partially my fault. In case you are not familiar with Broshaza, I'll just quickly explain what happened. For starters, one of her attack patterns in Phase 2 is a 2-man co-op counter, blue telegraph that you have to spacebar, then you go in for the counter. The Soul Eater is just having a blast behind Broshaza, and the person in front of me did not counter or something, not too sure what happened there. The next clip is a periodic stagger check that occurs in Phase 2. She aggroes to a random player for a front cone attack which you can spacebar, push immune, or block by pressing G. If the stagger check fails, she does a map-wide AoE attack which does a lot of damage. I've hardly ever seen this fail, so this was a major red flag. Then it happened a second time. Except someone dropped a large ass puddle on the boss, which was kind of funny to see. Ah shit, it happened a third time. Except I didn't have support care, so I just got deleted, along with a few members in the party. But since you can revive, I kinda shrugged it off. When you get to the 145 mechanic, the boss drops sights on the ground which can knock you back. I tried to fit in the Azena follow-up Sidereal, but got hit by the sight. With no HP potions left, and me being in the completely wrong spot, I died again, and this is where a good portion of the party died as well. So we did a restart, and the Gunlancer suggested whirlwind grenades, which wasn't a bad idea. However, on the second attempt, multiple people dropped meteors directly on the boss in Phase 1, which is diabolical. At this point, me and a few others wanted out of the raid, so I decided to call it. Now I'm jailed in Gate 2, and there's no Gate 2 lobbies up. This was early morning in the EU, so it's my fault for trying to raid this early in the morning over there, but it is what it is. After about an hour of hunting Party Finder, I found a lobby stuck in Gate 2 and got accepted. This is where I broke one of my fundamental rules, which I'll never break again, and that's getting help from someone else. I have a friend that plays on EU, and one of his low-paying characters has not done Broshaza for this week. So he hopped into a 1 to 2 reclear lobby, and after Gate 1, he left the lobby and I took his spot. In this new lobby, we did wipe one time, and that was to the 145 stagger check, which I've never seen before. However, I was holding back a few skills here, so I'm just gonna blame myself for this one. It is what it is. The second attempt was a clear though, which was nice because I really needed the gold. Back to the honing NPC, I wanted to finish up weapon and shoulders. Unfortunately, I ran out of redstones, so I moved on to shoulders quickly and ended up hitting pity at 100%. I then moved on to the helmet, but I didn't get anywhere with that and quickly ran out of gold again. I am now item level 1674. I went to the event shop to buy more advanced honing scrolls, then I did some much needed stronghold research since I was neglecting that for a bit. I did another chaos dungeon, then I hopped onto my alt character to run some hell keys. The first 2 keys gave me fusion materials which I was lacking, with the last key giving me a special honing chest. I used that to hone my alt character a bit since it had a character bound gold and ended up getting to 1599. Back on my main character, it was time to do Aegir since it'll give me a good chunk of gold. I made my own lobby and eventually it filled and cleared after some time. Back to the honing NPC, I finished up helmet at 72% pity. However, this weapon will simply not budge, and I do not have any more redstones. So I moved on to advanced honing and used the honing scrolls for every tab. With the gold from Aegir, I was able to get to 1676, which is not bad. The event quest UI gives you 5,000 gold if you do Echidna enough times. Clearing it this week will give me that extra 5,000 gold. I went to the Makoko shop to buy more honing scrolls since I know I'll need them later on. After some time, I got into an Echidna lobby, and I got recognized by someone who watches all my guides, which was really cool to see. Then I got recognized by a second person who said I have a sedated voice. I'm not too sure what that means, and I cannot tell if that's a compliment or not. But anyways, we got into Echidna and cleared without any issues. I went back to the honing NPC and did more advanced honing, but didn't get that far. Then I knocked out a guardian raid and claimed my gold from weekly Una task. With that gold, I did some more honing and got to 1677. Now that I've done my 3 raids for the week, it is time to hop on my alt character and do 3 solo raids. With that extra 12,000 gold, I went back to my main and continued honing. But at 7,000 gold left, I ran out of fusion materials. At that point, I decided to call it a day and logged in the following day. The new player login reward gave me an extra chaos dungeon, which was nice. However, I still do not have trusted status. I knocked out the chaos dungeons, then I decided to start working on the Una task that gives you the flame scroll recipe. But to do that, I need to complete a guide quest, which took about 30 minutes to complete. After that, I knocked out Chaos Gate and Field Boss. The Field Boss has a chance of giving a Blood Claw fragment, but I did not get it this time around. The last thing I wanted to knock out for this week was the Remeria story. It gives a bit of honing materials, including fusion, which is what I need. After completing the Remeria story, I gained a few roster levels. Enough roster levels that I was able to get an extra 200 blue crystals. With those blue crystals, I grabbed some extra fusion materials from Mari's shop and proceeded to keep honing. And that leaves me at 1677 for week 4. I'm pretty sure I'll hit 1680 week 5 without any issues at all. However, there is a new raid that releases next week, so I'll probably have to do my EU raids later on in that week. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.